awesome time on another stream with Mr. Ryan out there. I was live on his platform for a while and had a great time. So we'll see if anybody from that come over here. I don't know how to turn the volume down the other way. So there we go. Hey, hey. You heard me, huh? As a wrestler, thank you, Leah Bopi. Hello. As a wrestler, he's one of the best wrestlers to ever step inside the steel ring or the ring circle, whatever you want to say, we call it, but to step inside the ring. But because of what he did to his family, he'll never be put in the Hall of Fame, and I can't blame him for having that feeling. But it's also tough for the Benoit family that's still alive because he has another son. Right. Thank you for the likes that came up, spam caller. Yes. Hey, Toasty Toast. Yeah, he was underappreciated, undervalued, but I said the wrong words. It's the wrong words. It's a squared circle. I don't know how I ever came up with a steel ring. Inside, whoever stepped inside the squared circle. Those cables aren't made of steel. They got elastic to them. They have to give a certain amount. That's how come the wrestlers can bounce off them. So, but in the old days, they were made a lot different what they are now. I didn't plan on being there that long talking with that old boy, but it was kind of interesting. And I made a whole 262 likes today. Woo-wee. No, he wasn't a good family man to do what he did to his family. It's very despicable and terrible that he did. Yeah, well, yeah, he seemed to be. He had too many headbutts. I mean, the man. They checked his brain and saw he had a lot of things wrong with his brain because of concussions and stuff. I mean, his favorite finishing move was to come up off the ring and do a headbutt onto somebody. When did he come out of the closet? Chris Benoit was never in the closet. I don't know what you're saying, Leah. I suppose you could there, Scottish Chris. I don't know you. Um, okay. I mean, you could say that Chris was a good family man. If you look at pictures like this here, this is a documentary about the dark side of the ring. You know.
My name is Dennis Fagan. I run the security for World Wrestling, and one of our wrestlers that lives down there is missing.
Okay, what's his name?
Chris Benoit.
It was a particularly brutal and vicious murder. It was something that showed some sign of real rage.
Chris was just this gentle giant.
Nobody expects their friend to kill their family. Like,
it's scary. You know, it's scary. Hey, Chad. Yeah, he was, but it's not his fault. A lot of it's not his fault. When they did that autopsy on his brain and saw all the problems with his brain, he was punchy. He was not. He was insane. He was a great wrestler. One of the best. I loved watching Chris Benoit wrestle. That's why I'd rather watch some of his stuff. And but then no, Mush, I didn't say he was a good family man. Somebody in here before everything happened, you could be considered a good family man. But after what he did, why he did it, nobody will really know. He was, he showed, he had his family on the shows. He seemed that things were going all right. Nobody expected it to happen. No, you tear faces off everything. Come on, Leah. Everybody thought things were good. This is what happens when you get too many concussions. Sometimes you go in the rewind. This is what happens when you get too many concussions. This is what happened. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, I'm all right. He seemed to the world that he was a good family man. And then this happened. Roid rage, head rush, too many headbutts, concussions and stuff. It's like, really? No, he didn't hit him because he loved him. I wouldn't say that either, spam caller. By all appearances, as what they've said, that's why it floored so many people that it happened, because nobody's seen any of this kind of things going on or had any kind of worries about anything. It kind of caught everybody by surprise. But if you go by him as a wrestler, if you could ignore what happened, if they put him in just for pure talent, pound for pound, he was one of the toughest guys ever to step inside the steel ring. Or squared circle or whatever. They say steel ring. I don't know why they call it that. The squared circle. Well, the ring poster made of steel, and I guess the cables might have some steel in them, but they're designed to give too, so I don't know. Shout out to Gonzo. Hey, Gonzo. Shout out to Born Mush over in YouTube throwing comments at me. Shout out to my boy Ryan. I was just on the broadcast with him. Guys, be sure to go check out Ryan and see what he's got going on. He's been on a lot longer, and he's got the gold camera. He's a good guy, good kid. First time I've ever been on his stream. He's looking ill. I thought he looked like everything was fine. Housekeeping. Want me to make bed? Boy, lots of comments going up on Discord. I don't have that where I can see them all, but I can hear them blopping away. Yeah, free spins are only 10s nowadays. Doc Ivan, I was just over in a room called, kid's name was Ryan, and we were speaking about you a little bit. I was just in his server. He's like a 200 something or whatever, young kid, 22. I'm taking medication for my blood pressure as we go. There's spam caller. I think that's his name. I don't know what the last name was. He's on right now. He's on live right now. He's a featured up at the top of the list. I took him to my YouTube channel. Give him the link to my YouTube channel. Doc Ivan, thank you. Wow, I just saw that given over there. That is cool. I love it. Thank you, Doc. Thank you for the likes. And just for you, Doc, since you're here, we'll just get this open right now. Here you go, everybody. Here's your chest. Look at that. I told you, as soon as it turned 3K, there you go. Click on the button. Click on that button. Hit that chest. Get yourself a prize. Come on. Hey, I'm a man of my word. There it comes. I didn't even wait for anybody else to show up. They're not here. They missed it. It's their problem. Should be at least 4 winners. We got 3. Doc Ivan got in there. Spam caller got 1. Toasty got 2. And Doc Ivan within the 3rd spot. Welcome. Congratulations, guys, for on your winnings there. You threw a fit when I got it to 3K, Benoit? Huh? I don't remember throwing a fit about you putting it. What I had in there, I emptied it. Wasn't even 3K when I emptied it. Okay. If I did, I'm sorry. This is the way the way it is now. If I hit the money, I'll open the chest. Good Lord. All they are is to help me keep the riffraff straightened out. Toasty, no more of the griefing stuff that's been going on all the time. Yeah, I don't know. Damn it. I'll put this back in the bag. I can't get it back in the damn bag. Oh, come on. There we go. Bert and Ernie, come on, spam caller. Damn, dog. Somebody getting grumpy out there. No. Use that paper. Use that paper thing that's sitting next to you, Cheryl. You show them that, usually it'll stop them. I like that, Doc. Anybody want to come up tonight? That person want to come up and talk about Chris Benoit. Yeah, if you're still here. And if you want to come up, no problem with bringing you up. I see Mush down there. Not going to answer my question, Mush, right? I hope you used those because I did. I threw them away last night. I tore them up, threw them away. And I took the picture out of my phone, so. You don't seem to want to answer me. You want to make comments to me, but you don't want to answer a question when I ask you. You ask for Marlboro points. I sent you a bunch that I had. I'm going to come in and watch. Not going to do a single like. You're going to be still giving me a hard time. It wasn't all just Chad involved in that situation. The meat truck Mike had his share in going with it too, and a couple other people. But it's my own fault that I let it get out. So I did, according to the way Mush is, it's my fault. So don't blame anybody. It's my fault. And I've already apologized 100 times. Yeah, I get it. I'm good. I get it. That's like a month ago now. It's old news. Let's move on. Stop being childish. Move on. Get past it. Because I have my reasons. I don't have to explain anything to anybody. Doc, Ivan, thank you, Doc. I like that. Yeah, get past it, move on, spam caller. It's old news. I made a lot of mistakes, but they're my mistakes. And things have changed over the last couple of weeks. Some for the good, some for the bad, depending on how people think about it. Oh, what's his name? That's Ing, isn't it? Gooser Mass, isn't that Ing or whatever? Hello, YouTube side. Hello, 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 hello. Probably got the wrong name with him, but I can always say I know a little German. That crazy German says, "Hi, Doc." Ing. Yeah, back at you, Ing. I know you're Ing. Doc said hi back at you, Ing. Crazy German. I can hear your voice when you're talking. Hello, Johnny B. I can hear you talking without you talking. And your voice, thank you. Oh, he is. He is. He's saying thank you, Johnny, and I can hear him saying it. And I can hear his voice telling me thank you, Johnny. He's quite the character. Not everybody can draw the long straw of life, and I think Ing's has drawn his share of short straws, but he's okay. I don't have Harmeyer band. No, just somebody said there's a rumor that I banned somebody. I don't have him banned. What? They said that somebody was banned, and I'm just replying to a comment. I chose myself who was banned. Right now, nobody's banned. Or anybody can come on. They want me to give you a kiss again. They like it watching me giving you a kiss, honey. Come in and smooch it up, a quick one. Come smooch it up real quick before you get your face all sticky with that popsicle. You're gonna get your face sticky with a popsicle, and it's not mine.
Okay.
You crazy German. Say, yay! Ing is here. Ing is here. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So, Ing, what you doing these days? Dang. You sold your home? So what are you going to do now? Did you get yourself a minivan to live in or something, or what? Well, I get a couple of instruments I can play. The Yep, I'm going the right way with it. When the bed bugs come marching in, there you go. Buy some with bigger property, huh? Well, you could. You're talking about bigger. You can buy an old school bus and move into that. That's got more property. Oh, you're talking ground property. My bad. Hello. Can you hear me? The night is young, but I am not. The night is young, but I am not. Yeah, life is a young man's game. Here you are, Scottish Chris. You said you want to come up. Raise your hand. Yeah, give me your point on Chris Benoit. Like I said, not that I agree with what he did, but as a wrestler,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I caught the last part of when you were guesting with Ryan, and you were asking him who Chris Benoit was.
Yeah.
I don't know if I caught your reply, but what is your thoughts on him? Obviously, as a wrestler.
I just said it here a little bit ago. As a wrestler, pound for pound, one of the toughest SOBs you'd ever meet in the ring. They didn't call him the crippler for nothing. His wrestling prowess is above and beyond compared to anybody out there, even today.
Yeah.
What he did to his family is a tragedy. It's terrible. Like you said, he was good until he wasn't.
Yeah.
And wrestling had a lot to do with why he became what he was, why he did that to his kids, and to his kid and his wife. When they did that autopsy on his brain and looked through and saw those black masses and stuff was in there, he had so many concussions that,
Yeah.
I mean, look at wrestlers now. Remember Jake the Snake Roberts?
Yeah, he was a legend.
I'm watching I got A&E on here. I don't have the audio down, but they just showed Jake the Snake Roberts. He's on oxygen now, dude.
Is he? Wow.
But Chris Benoit had so many headbutts, just like pro wrestlers go nuts. It's, mass concussions, football players, wrestlers.
Yeah.
Wrestling even worse than football in some cases because how they take slams and stuff. And even if they land right where their head never gives a contact to make it get smacked, just the shaking around You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Can
take an egg,
can I
take an
just
egg
can I
and
just
put
say
it in a
my
glass
part?
of water and shake it. You're going to scramble that egg inside that glass of water. Well, you know,
Yeah. I completely agree with you with the whole in the industry. He was a legend. He had done so much for the business, but with the whole business situation, yeah, he was given opportunities, but if you compare him to Brock Lesnar had been in the business 5 months and he was getting so much more opportunities than Chris Benoit. Yet Chris Benoit had been there for years and was only getting United States title
well,
opportunities.
Chris Benoit got a lot of opportunities in the old WCW.
Yeah, but that was WCW. That wasn't when it was like obviously before he died. Like he was like how would I describe this? Like obviously I respect WCW so much because obviously it gave us the Monday Night Wars. Like if I could bring back WCW, I would. Going back and watching clips on WCW, I love it. But when you compare WCW to what WWE is, it doesn't really compare. But
Well,
as I was,
Ted Turner spent a lot of money to make WCW what it was. Gave those wrestlers outrageous paychecks, more money than they ever made anywhere else.
yeah,
And it wasn't all about uh, the show. They didn't have a lot of remote shows, but they paid talent big money to be on TV. That's where they made
yeah,
all their money, was just being on television.
yeah.
You know,
One thing that annoyed me is what it's different from what it was back then, but now, um, right now, obviously you've got so many wrestlers for both. I don't know if you watch AEW.
I've watched a little bit
Um,
of it. AEW's a lot of the rejects that pussied away from
yeah,
WWE.
don't get me wrong. When AEW first came out, I was all for it. I was thinking, oh, maybe it can give WWE
Double
um,
J, Jeff Jarrett.
like maybe it can give WWE competition. For the first couple of months, don't get me wrong, AEW were killing it.
Don't you
They were
still? Don't they
bringing,
have three of them now? TNA, AEW, and WWE.
yeah,
And there's
um,
another one out there too that's been doing some stuff too. I can't think of the name of what they were, but they still have the old school. Um, I saw another hardcore one, like a rebirth of
Ring of Honor,
like a rebirth of ECW,
yeah.
but not
AC,
as it's not called ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling.
in my opinion, when it comes to extreme wrestling, nothing can compare to ECW
Yeah, Mr.
because
Hyman there, or Heyman. I call him Hyman because he is such a pussy. Um,
people say Paul Heyman should retire from the business. No, I don't agree with that. Paul Heyman has given his blood,
he's a
sweat,
walrus
and
now.
tears.
He's a big old walrus, man. Uh,
I have a question. Do you still watch WWE to this day?
yeah, I pay for
Right.
the
Okay.
Peacock network so I can watch the pay-per-views too.
Okay. So before Paul Heyman worked with Roman Reigns, what was your thoughts on Roman Reigns before he went with Paul Heyman?
I liked him when they were the Shield.
Yeah.
I like the Shield days.
I know I'm going off topic, but John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, was asked a question if they could ever see the Shield returning. And he said, never say never.
Right.
So that was just me going off topic. But I know we were talking about Chris Benoit, and then we went on to Paul Heyman. But if you look at what Paul Heyman's done for Roman Reigns, let me be honest, he was good in the ring, but when it came to his mic skills, his promos, he was terrible. Because let me give you an example. It was John Cena versus Roman Reigns. There was a massive build up to it. And let's be honest, when it came to John Cena and Roman Reigns on mic, John Cena buried Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was terrible on the mic. He was terrible. Because if you're a professional, right, you're supposed to remember your promos. Am I right?
Right.
Roman Reigns couldn't even remember one simple line. John Cena, he went off script. It's called a promo, kid. You're supposed to learn it.
Right.
This was on an episode of Monday Night Raw. And then no one had seen Roman Reigns on TV for months. And then
I got to do something.
Roman Reigns came back. I think it was when Bray Wyatt was fighting Braun Strowman. And Roman Reigns speared, I think, The Fiend, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt, in the middle of the ring.
I forgot that I'm on YouTube. I can't have that playing in the background.
I know that's one thing that annoys me about YouNow. You can't have videos playing.
I can on YouNow, but I'm also broadcasting on YouTube.
Oh, right, okay. Why does YouTube have different rules from YouNow?
YouTube gets you on the copyright every time.
Oh, what the hell?
YouNow's broadcasts aren't permanently kept. If you don't go in, if you're not a subscriber and go and download the video, and it after I think it's only like maybe 2 weeks in the replay vault.
Yeah. So I was saying about the whole Roman Reigns situation, and Paul Heyman. So, obviously, Roman Reigns was terrible on the mic. He disappeared. People were wondering, is Roman Reigns going to come back? Is Roman Reigns finished with WWE? And obviously, he came back, speared Bray Wyatt, a.k.a. The Fiend, and people were like, this is a different attitude from Roman Reigns. And then I don't know if anyone in the chat or if you remember an episode of SmackDown where it was supposed to be a triple threat at Payback for the Universal title, where it was Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, and Roman Reigns. And Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman had signed a contract, and it cut to a backstage segment. Roman Reigns said he would be at Payback, and I knew something was happening, because what gave it away was what was one of Paul Heyman's good lines when he was with Brock Lesnar, when he would give a result of what Brock Lesnar was going to do. He would say, "That's not a spoiler."
Right.
And that's the line Roman Reigns used. And that was me thinking, before the camera even panned, I was like, is he working with Paul Heyman? They panned to Paul Heyman, and people say Paul Heyman should retire. Look what he's done with Roman Reigns. He has elevated that man to a new
He's
level.
still got a lot of gas in the tank. His character is annoying. Some people cannot stand his
But
character. I'm getting, you know,
if people are getting annoyed with his character, do you not think then that's doing the job?
yeah.
Because
That's what he's doing is to make you annoyed. I know that. I understand that's how the process goes.
no, but I know you understand, but there is people that has been watching. Obviously, I'm 25 years old, right? I have been watching wrestling since I was a young kid.
Thank you for becoming a fan. Sorry.
I'm not saying that I know everything in the business, but there is people. I don't know if you've came across the people that have been watching wrestling for about 3 years, and they think they know everything. They're sitting. They get one look at Paul Heyman, and they're sitting saying, "Oh, get this man off my TV! Get this man off my TV!" And I'm sitting
You
going,
know,
"Why?" I even fell out with one of my friends because of it, because they'd been watching wrestling for about 2 years, and they're sitting trying to tell me, I've watched wrestling for so many years. I can remember going back and watching old school clips. I know I'm going a bit off topic here, but I'm going off clips where it was before it was like Monday Night Raw, where it was giant haystacks
Haystacks Calhoun.
and
The-
Rocky Johnson.
That's Rocky. That's related to The Rock.
Yeah, that's The Rock's dad.
Yeah, Rocky
And
might be a.
and I'm thinking, I even asked them this question. I was like, "Can you tell me who these people are?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, how can you say these people should? How can you say these people should retire when you don't know
Who they
much about
are.
the business? You
You don't
couldn't
even
even
know
tell me who they
are.
were." And I'm like, I'm like, I know this is the first time we spoke, and it's been a pleasure speaking to you. And I'm one of those people that I just say it how it is.
You say it as
And
you see it.
yeah,
Right.
if I disagree with someone, then I'm going to tell you.
Right.
But in my head, I'm thinking, how can you tell me these people need to retire when you don't know enough about the business?
You know,
Paul Heyman
he's
was a
been around a
legend in
long time.
ECW.
Legend. He was. Yeah, it's beyond. That's beyond say.
Yeah, I'm just using legend for
I mean,
those who don't.
if it wasn't for him, ECW wouldn't have ever existed.
Exactly.
And we wouldn't have known some of the stars that we know today. Even
I'm going to be honest. I wish ECW was still running today, but
they every once in a while they do an ECW one night stand.
oh, I
And
didn't even know that.
And they've done that before. They've had back the Dudley Boys and things like this.
Speaking of Dudley Boys, I can remember I was watching a clip.
One of the Bushwhackers just died here not too long ago too.
I know. I was actually sad. I'd actually messaged my auntie.
Eh?
Obviously, well, they're from New Zealand, and my auntie had, yeah, my auntie has moved over there to New Zealand, and the Bushwhackers' cousin stays like 5 minutes from them.
Come up and lick your face.
Listen, growing up, I loved the Bushwhackers. I used to go around the living room, doing their action where they used to move their arms up and down.
I got my mind on something, so I'm still listening to you. But there's something I've misplaced that was sitting right here where I could just grab it not too long ago and.
I don't know.
It should be right here somewhere.
If I'm ranting, just tell me to shush, and I will. When it comes to
if I get
WWE,
tired of you, I would just drag you off panel and say goodbye.
Yeah. And no, when it comes to WWE, I could literally talk for hours. And like old school.
I was at the greatest WrestleMania ever.
Really?
Yeah. You know which WrestleMania they're still calling to this day the greatest WrestleMania ever?
Was it not like WrestleMania 14 or something?
No. WrestleMania 3 at the Pontiac Silverdome. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Randy
Wait, is
Savage,
that
and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. King Kong Bundy and Roddy Piper.
King Kong Bundy?
Um,
Wow, that is a name I've not heard in
The match
years.
that stole the show, to this day, they'll still count the match that stole WrestleMania, was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Randy Savage. Randy Macho Man. Oh, yeah, let me tell you what. Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm a huge fan of WWE, but I don't think I've ever seen that match.
Watch old WrestleMania 3. I was at the Pontiac Silverdome, and to this day, the match with Hulk and Andre was basically the passing of the torch. Because
Wait,
Andre
see
was
that match?
getting old, washed out, and not moving around real well. And Hulk Hogan was the flavor of the day. So they were passing the torch by letting him beat Andre at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Wait, see that match you're talking about? Is that when Hulk Hogan picked Andre up and slammed him onto the mat?
He injured his back body slamming that night. He injured his back.
I think I've seen clips of it where they've showed it. But I'll probably tomorrow. I'll probably watch.
Bicep, brother. Let me tell you something, brother.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, what is your thoughts on him with the whole racist situation where he said the N-word?
Put it to rest. You can't say that these people that made the big fit are going to say they never messed up and used that word.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone has used the N-word. I'm going to be honest. I've used it.
But because it's Hulk Hogan and
they made a big deal,
such a public type thing, they have to make a bigger issue out of it than what it's really worth. Is it offensive? Well, yeah, but it was comments that wasn't to a public. It was a private freaking phone call.
Yeah. Do you think he should have been removed from the Hall of Fame?
He's been put back.
No, I'm saying, like, see when they did do that?
He shouldn't have got moved to start with. No. Shouldn't have got taken out of there to start with. No.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because I had this argument with my friend, and they're like,
it's happened somewhere else too. They took Superfly Jimmy Snuka,
another legend,
Hall of Fame too, because of the question about his supposedly killing a girlfriend.
Yeah. Was there any proof of that? I know you said about the whole Jimmy Fly Snuka and that apparently killing a girlfriend, but was there any proof in that? I had heard it, but was there any proof in that?
He was accused of it, and they went through trials and stuff. He was never prosecuted on the situation. Plus, now he's dead.
Yeah.
But
God rest his soul.
There was something on it. Whether he did or not, it's never been proven or disproven. So
it just surprises me that there's been so many wrestlers that are still on TV today that have been through stuff, that have been accused, yet they're still on TV, but yet WWE still refuse to bring other people that have pretty much made the same messed up situation to bring them back, but yet you've still got superstars on TV today.
Well, they give people second and third chances. I mean, look at the Hardy Boys and what they went through drug wise and stuff.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy recently came back to AEW. He came
And
back. Was it Wednesday there?
and
I think.
he's been
I
in
think.
rehab a couple of times, hasn't he?
Yeah. But let's be honest. Don't get me wrong. Love the Hardy Boys. I grew up loving the Hardy Boys and Lita.
I see it,
Um,
Trev, in my YouTube chat.
Sorry.
Somebody in the YouTube chat, when if they were able to be seen. I said, but yeah, I can see you.
All right. Um, obviously,
I'm
like I
sorry.
said, I grew up watching the Hardy Boys, Lita, when Lita was with the Hardy Boys.
They've done the dome cage matches inside the Thunderdome or whatever.
I can remember, was it WrestleMania? It was either WrestleMania or SummerSlam, one of the two, where it was the first ever, I think it was it TLC match?
Tables, ladders, and chairs, those are on all the time. They
Like, see,
actually
when it was
they have
the
an event called
Hardys?
TLC where they do that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. I can't remember what event it was, but I can give you the match. It was the Hardys versus Edge and Christian versus
That's a match and made in heaven right there.
the Dudley Boys. That match, I'm going to be honest, put tag teams on the map.
Get the tables.
It's the fact when Bully Ray slaps Steve on, get the tables. That match, in my opinion, so many people would disagree with me. But that match put tag teams on the map because if you actually go back and watch the match, they put their bodies on the line. They put everything on the line.
They did.
But see, one thing that annoys me about the current generation of superstars is I was at WrestleMania this year. Don't get me wrong, loved the experience. I'll never forget it. I don't know if you remember this, but it was Edge versus Finn Balor in the Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
Edge hits Finn Balor with the ladders. The referee stops the match just to clear the blood up. He actually physically stopped the match. Edge wanted to continue, but the ref was like, "No, we need to clear the blood up." But if you go back years and years ago, when it was like the Hardys,
blood was everywhere.
Blood was everywhere.
Look at Mick Foley,
the king of hardcore.
the hardcore legend, 100%.
The man got flung off a Hell in a Cell, and is still walking to this day.
Yeah.
Like that, in my opinion, the Undertaker versus Mankind match, still to the day, one of the best matches.
No question about it.
But as I was saying, obviously Edge hit Finn Balor with the ladders. Obviously, Finn Balor's head was cut pretty deep. But one thing that annoyed me, and there was boos, but they cut that from the program because I went back and watched it, and they actually cut the boos out because they stopped the match just to clean up the blood. And but if you go back years, like when Mankind, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Hardys, they would bleed, and the match would continue.
Yeah.
And that's what annoys me about this generation. Obviously, I'm only 25. Like, I've watched so many stuff on the old school generation, and like, I do know my stuff, but people sitting saying, "Oh, it's better because there's young kids that watch it now," and I'm like, there was young kids that watched it years ago. young kids have always watched WWE. What's the difference from now to back then when they were still getting busted open and the match would continue?
I know, right?
They need to bring back that era.
Well, they allow more things on TV than they used to, but they took some stuff away because these people that live a preppy style life don't want to see that kind of stuff, and they don't think their kids should see it.
Yeah.
Look at the music. They say one cuss word in a musical song, and it's deemed, you got to be 18
Yeah.
above to own.
Yeah. One thing that, don't get me wrong, obviously because Triple H just took over, because Vince McMahon was running WWE down to the ground a little bit. I don't know if you can agree with that, because Vince McMahon was making decisions that he shouldn't have been. But since Triple H just took over, the ratings have went back up. But see if they bring back, not like the Attitude Era, because nothing can compare to that Attitude Era. Nothing can compare to it. But see if, I'll use the WrestleMania example again, where they stop the match for just to clean up blood. If WWE cut that out, a lot more people would actually stop booing and actually pay more attention to it. Because the moment the wrestlers stop a match, they're thinking, what is this? This is nothing compared to that Attitude Era. And that's where I think AEW kind of won up WWE in a sense, because there has been several matches over the past few weeks on AEW where there's been blood spilt everywhere. Did the AEW referees stop the match? No. They would go over, check if they're okay, continue the match. The blood would be still pouring out. I can use an example. John Moxley, aka, I don't know if you know, Dean Ambrose, that man gets busted open every week. Let's be honest, that man just gets busted open for the...
Well, they had ways to fake being busted open too that they don't use anymore either.
Yeah. So he gets busted open week in, week out. Do they stop the match? No, they don't. This is where I think WWE could not learn a lesson, but could take a bit of advice from. Because Tony Khan, he is the owner of, I think he's the owner of AEW. He's recently bought Ring of Honor.
That's the one I was thinking of, yeah.
Ring of Honor.
They do some hardcore shit on that Ring of Honor stuff.
Yeah.
I
don't know if you...
That's the early days of ECW and backyard wrestling.
Yeah. For a while there, I didn't watch WWE because it was getting to the point where it was unbearable to watch. So I went on to a lot of independent wrestling, like New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I don't know if you can tell by the accent, but obviously I'm from Scotland.
No, I couldn't.
There's a company which is in Glasgow. I don't know if you've heard it, but a lot of WWE wrestlers have came from here. It's called ICW.
A little bit of when you're Glasgow. That's where
Glasgow, Scotland.
That's where what's his name says he's from, the Scottish nitwit. Used to wear the spiker, Seamus.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre.
The other one is
from
Edinburgh.
There's a company here called ICW, which is Insane Championship Wrestling.
I've seen it.
And ICW, obviously, I'm not comparing it to ECW, but see if you go on YouTube and actually look at some of their
It's
matches,
on kind of the same.
it's on kind of the same level.
Yeah.
And
That stuff you're never going to get past. There used to be one that was called BYW, Backyard Wrestling,
yeah,
and
I
they had
remember.
different
I know the name.
affiliates around the area, and it would be in somebody's backyard. Put a ring in the backyard and be a bunch
Yeah.
of guys. I actually was trying to set that up one time to have them come out in my yard and put a ring out there, and these guys come in and do their
Yeah.
thing and see what kind of people we can get in and do a yard
Yeah.
party doing that.
Fun fact: do you know the Young Bucks?
I've heard the name.
They came from backyard wrestling.
Yeah, but the Young Bucks aren't Young Bucks anymore, though.
No,
They're
no,
old
they're not.
like me.
I'm going to be honest. The Young Bucks and FTR, aka the Revival, are two of the best tag teams in the industry today. I don't know if are you familiar with the independent scene?
With what? Independent scene?
The independent scene.
Yeah, there's an organization around me called CIW, Championship International Wrestling, and they got a ring that they take around and put it in armories and fairgrounds and all sorts of different stuff and do shows all over the place.
Oh,
And that's how I got to meet the likes of King Kong Bundy, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Coco Beware, the Birdman, Coco Beware, Kamala.
Coco Beware was brilliant.
I got to meet him. Marcus Alexander Bagwell, you know who that is?
Wow.
How about if I say Buff Bagwell? You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about? That's Marcus.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Bagwell with his hat, with his face on it.
Yeah.
King Kong Bundy was a total dick. The Honky Tonk Man was a big total dick, but the rest of them were really nice to meet. In fact, when I saw Hacksaw, it was shortly before a comeback because he'd survived cancer, and he was doing the independent circuit. And I met him. I said, "You ever going to get back in the ring?" He says, "You watch. I'm going to be back real soon." And 2 weeks later, he was back in the ring and wrestled for a short period of time before he finally left again.
Yeah. I know we're talking about independent wrestling, but obviously with Ring of Honor, have you heard of the Briscoe brothers?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know,
they owned a body shop in Florida too.
Yeah, you know, Jay had passed away.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people noticed this, but obviously Jay was well respected. The Briscoes brought another meaning to the whole tag team industry.
Yeah.
I actually
some
had
of the Briscoes are still around, but they're not in wrestling anymore. They're in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Jake Briscoe, a NASCAR driver.
Is he still around?
Is related to the Briscoe brothers. He's one of the grandkids or nephews or something.
Wow.
You think of the original wrestler Briscoe brothers, but it's one of their grandkids or something like that is in racing, NASCAR.
Wow. I didn't even know that. Obviously, the Briscoes that are in the wrestling just now, obviously Jay had obviously passed away, and when I found out, I've never done this before, but I actually had a tear in my eye.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've seen wrestlers come and go thinking do the big shot, thinking they can do this, they can do that. But in my opinion, the Briscoes were the real deal.
Yeah.
Because when you look at what they came from, they came from nothing. And
I grew up in the days of, the like you said, the old wrestlers, the stuff I started out watching was Bobo Brazil and from Bureau Burpo, Flying Fred Curry,
Yeah.
Haystacks Calhoun, big old hillbilly fat fucker. Crybaby Cannon, another hillbilly looking dude.
Yeah.
Gorgeous George. My mom used to talk about him all the time.
Gorgeous
He was
George. That's a
he was
name I've not heard in
yeah,
years.
he was very flamboyant. He'd come out like this.
Yeah.
He was kind of the Ric Flair of the '60s,
Yeah.
and he wore elaborate robes. That's why Ric Flair based some of his character on Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
And then the original Nature Boy, Buddy something. I can't think of the last name, but Buddy Richards or something like that. The original Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Ric Flair stole the Nature Boy from him. Well, inherited it because Buddy Rogers or whatever his name was hadn't been wrestling in many years, and that's what Ric Flair became the new Nature Boy.
I'm going to be honest. I actually didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, but
I thought Ric Flair was the only.
Back in the days, we thought that stuff was real, but they cut themselves. Used to keep little blades and cut themselves.
Yeah. I was talking about.
I don't care what you guys are playing in that game over there. Congratulate on your kills. Big deal.
Obviously, I was talking about the Briscoes. I feel honoured for this. I know it's obviously something people might not find something to be honoured about, but me and my brother, a few years ago, the Briscoes actually came to ICW, and watching, obviously I'd followed the Briscoes through Ring of Honor. I knew who they were. They used to always say "them boys."
Yeah.
Half of the
boys.
teeth.
I got another odd name to throw at you.
Mm-hmm.
The Taskmaster.
Oh,
can you give me his real name?
The Taskmaster. I'm gonna be honest. I know the name. I know the name Taskmaster, but I couldn't tell you who. I couldn't tell you his real name.
Kevin Sullivan.
Wow.
Look him up. Talk about blood-faced matches he used to have. This was pre-ECW stuff, even. The Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan.
I know the name Taskmaster, but I've never came across any stuff
from the 80s and into the 90s, and is now still doing the independent circuit, but probably more than likely just management, not actually stepping in the ring.
What age is he?
Kevin Sullivan used to be Chris Benoit's wife's husband before.
Wow, really?
Chris Benoit took her from Kevin Sullivan. And it was in a storyline where this happened, but it happened in real life also. She used to be called Woman when she was with Kevin Sullivan. She was Woman.
Wow. Is that like the same storyline as, I don't know if you used to watch TNA years ago, when it was like the six-sided, the ring?
The what? The six-sided, octagonal ring, yeah.
Yeah. I know you were talking about Chris Benoit took his wife off the Taskmaster, but that was, when you said that kind of brought flashbacks of when
I think he was in early. I don't know if he was in early TNA or not. I don't think so. But Jeff Jarrett took
Kurt Angle's wife.
Yeah.
Karen Jarrett.
Yep. And then there was another one with Steve Mongo McMichaels, used to be a football player, was a wrestler.
Oh,
his wife got taken by somebody in the stuff too. I can't remember where that line came from. But those storylines are old, washed up stuff.
But those were good, entertaining storylines.
Kevin Sullivan, you have to look him up. When you see his face, I'm sure you'd remember him if you watch the old stuff from back. He was in 80s, early 90s. From that point on, I don't know what happened with him.
Yeah. I'll
Well,
look him
good
up
for Danny.
once I've came off guest. But talking about obviously the whole independent scene and the Briscoe, I'll go back. I'm just going to go back to talking about the Briscoes. Obviously, I've actually seen them wrestle on 3 separate occasions, and to this day, they are still one of my favourite tag teams that I've seen. No, I'm not just saying that because of one of them has passed away. Like, when you look at them wrestling, they've put their blood, sweat, and tears and everything to get where they are today.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying none of the superstars or tag teams haven't done that today, but they went the extra mile. Like, they were cutting promos when they weren't even assigned to a company. They were calling out random tag teams just to get noticed.
Right.
And there's something obviously missing from the tag team industry to this day, and obviously the singles competitors. There's obviously something missing. I still haven't figured out what it is. There's something missing that needs to be obviously found to bring that spark back. Because I think there is so many fans that are just watching it, not because they love WWE, not because they grew up with it. I think it's just something to watch
Yeah.
because
It's not what it used to be at
it's
all.
not. And I think it's not killing the wrestling industry. It's slowly and slowly driving it down to the point where hardly anyone's going to be interested. And that, in my opinion, is obviously just my opinion. People can disagree with me, but
Well, that's why they say opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
yeah. And I'm going to be honest, for a few years there, I did fall out of love for, like, I didn't watch at any point. I fell out with WWE. I fell out with all wrestling because I thought, nah. Obviously, Vince McMahon was running WWE to the ground. And then I started watching it again. And I thought, hold on, something's changed. And then I found out Triple H had took over.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to do something here. Hang on a second. I've already got my hour more than that on YouTube. I'm going to close the YouTube side. I'm going to say, peace out, those on YouTube watching. Join us on YouNow to continue. Peace and love. Peace and love. Yeah, it just ends it just like